talking real loud, spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams.
Everyone, thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. All right, hello, we the people. Laverne is in the house. Okay, DJ Big Six, Claudette, Nessa G is here, Anita Harrell. All right, let's get into it. Laverne. All right, shout out to all my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen, and a big shout out to my moderators for putting in work. Okay, so before we get started, you all know the drill. Let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so with that all being said, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, and also she has a beard oil for men as well. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Hold on, let me fix this. Camera's looking a little too close. Okay, so now with that all being said, first things first, let's talk about this veteran who was arrested for burning a flag Okay, in front of the White House, obviously in protest to Trump's nefarious bill that he just came out with, proposing that if you burn the flag, that you could get like a year in jail, fines, or whatever. Okay, so let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
For every single one of you American citizens. We burn this flag in protest to that president.
Is that a good signature? Seriously, is that a good signature? You can burn this piece of paper. If you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they use that language, by the way. Did they? Incite to riot. You get 1 year in jail, and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately.
Executive order that President Trump put forward today. According to that executive order, I should be in prison. You simply burn a flag within what, a 2-foot circle on brick, and you get detained. Think about remembering your oath. Yes, remember your oath.
Leave it take.
All right, honey, they took his little old behind right on off to jail. Okay, right on off to jail. Please pay attention. Now, here is when he was interviewed by Jolly Good Ginger, and shout out to Jolly Good Ginger. Okay, I like him. Secret Service is currently investigating this veteran who burned the flag. Now, I want you all to pay attention because this clearly seems to be a bit of an overreach. Okay, arresting the man for burning the flag is one thing, but now to have the Secret Service literally investigating him and calling his friends and family is just too much. Okay, it is just giving too much. All right, but let's get into it.
So since your arrest yesterday, there's been some developments. The Secret Service is actively calling your family?
Yes, they are.
What questions are they asking them?
They didn't ask him any questions. I informed my family once I found out to just say I don't answer questions and hang up.
So they called your family. Your family had the instructions, don't answer. So they didn't get a chance to ask questions.
Yeah. They called me first thinking it was my wife's number.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I said who I was, they're like, oh, well, you have a nice day. And they hung up.
Really?
Oh, because I was like, why are you calling my family? Why do you want to talk to my family?
And what'd they say?
They just hung up.
So what do you suspect the reason is that they are calling your family?
Oh, they're getting pressure from Trump. They want to make something out of this. I believe they're going to try to file more charges to enforce that bullshit executive order.
To kind of reiterate for everyone, the only charge you got was a simple citation for open fire in a federal park, and you believe that the Secret Service is now digging into who you are, calling your family in an effort to find more charges on you.
Absolutely. Trying to intimidate my family. My family doesn't deal with this kind of shit. They've never had to. And they won't tell me why they're doing it. And, they're trying to just be underhanded. Little Gestapo tactics going on right there.
100%.
That's
so make sure you understand the full capacity of what we're saying here. This is a 20-year Bronze Star recipient, Army combat veteran who exercised his First Amendment right to burn a flag after Donald Trump signed an executive order to try to prohibit this First Amendment activity. And now the Secret Service is calling his family and friends, trying to investigate him. And for what reason, I cannot imagine other than, as you said, intimidation. This is Gestapo tactics. Stay tuned. We're going to follow this. And by the way, if they come at you with more charges, we'll come at them with the full support of social media, the public, GoFundMe, whatever we need. More to follow.
Oh, honey, they need to sit down somewhere. This is all just ridiculous. Okay, flag burning, of course, is protected speech. All right. Now, James says, now see, if that man was black, he'd still be in prison. James, get your arse out of my chest. Y'all, shout out to James Sanders. That's a good friend of mine. All right, so with that all being said, James, I didn't even realize that was you when I picked out that comment, honey. Okay, so now, yes, he would still be under arrest. Okay, I have to agree. Now, let's go to this Let's go to this other video about the veteran being arrested. Now, let's hear what he has to
A
say.
veteran was just arrested outside of the White House for burning the American flag and using a megaphone to yell at Trump. Right? And this is burning the American flag is protected legal speech, and yelling at the president is very legal and arguably the most American thing you can possibly do. This notably after Trump this morning signed an executive order trying to make burning the flag a crime worth a year in prison. Right? And all of this, it comes as the president appears to be pushing the nation to the brink of conflict as he's announcing that he'll be sending troops to occupy Chicago in addition to D.C. and Los Angeles. Right? And you have him saying New York City, Boston, and Philadelphia are on the way. With Trump saying this is to fight crime, but many saying, make no mistake, it's to punish Chicago for not voting for him. Especially as Governor Pritzker noted today, 13 of the top 20 cities in homicide rates have Republican governors. None of those cities is Chicago, and 8 of the top 10 states with the highest homicide rates are led by Republicans. None of those states is Illinois. And this all comes as Trump threatened to occupy Maryland, seemingly because the governor was critical of him on TV. With many saying the president has become a full-on dictator while Congress has been away at recess. With him even saying today, quote, a lot of people are saying maybe we'd like a dictator. But hey, for now, follow this.
Let me tell y'all something, honey. Okay, here's what's going down. Timothy says if he hates the country that much to burn the flag, just move to another country. Well, Timothy, why don't you move to another country, beloved? Why don't you move to another country if you're so upset about him burning a flag, which is his First Amendment right? You see, in this country, we happen to like and care about the Constitution. You know, it says we, the people. So that all being said, he's within his rights to burn that damn flag. Who does Donald Trump think he is? If you ask me, I'm going to have to agree with the person that said that Donald Trump needs to be investigated. Okay, absolutely. Absolutely, Trump needs to be investigated. I agree. Now, Timothy, I don't know if you're a long-time Trump supporter or whatnot, and it doesn't really matter to the queen, but the bottom line is, really? Move to another country just because he burned a flag? That sounds crazy. Timothy, are you from this country? Are you from this country? Because if you don't look like me, I'm inclined to think that you're not from this country, okay? Because we all know where y'all really came from, and it wasn't here, all right? It wasn't here. So that all being said, let me just tell you all a secret. It's really not a secret. That's why I know what it is. But here's the thing. I have told you all before, and I've been telling you all for years, that quite frankly, Leon said, who gives a damn about a flag? Exactly. Okay. Especially when people use it to cover up their racism under the guise of patriotism. Can I get an amen? Now, with that all being said, here's the thing that I found interesting, though. Okay, so Trump is sitting up here trying to make all these new rules that don't really make any sense or whatever. Okay. Yeah, he needs to have several seats. But now here's the thing. Here's a something that I've been telling you all for years. Both of these parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, they have the ultimate same goal at the end of the day, and that is to say that they just have different ways of going about it. Now, remember how for the past 2 or 3 weeks I've been telling you all that the Democrats are not doing anything to stop Trump? Where are the articles of impeachment? Now, Representative Al Green did file some, but what happened? Okay, nobody would back him. Why are the Democrats sitting here complaining, but then at the same time allowing Trump to do all of this bullcrap? Because they're all in on it. They're all in on it. Remember what I told you all about the Electoral College? Okay, remember what I told you about the Electoral College, how it gives us the illusion of inclusion, when in fact the presidents are selected, not elected. Okay, here's the thing. At the end of the day, we should know this to be true because they did it to Al Gore. He had the popular vote, but they gave it to Bush. And they did the same thing with Hillary and Trump in his first election. Trump should never have been the president, if you ask me, but they chose Trump to be the president. Okay, that's why Hillary won the popular vote, but Trump still was the president. And they say this is all due to the Electoral College. Okay, you see, if you do research, like I have told you all 1,000 times, the purpose of the Electoral College was to give us the illusion of inclusion so we can think that we're choosing the president of the United States. But in fact, the founding fathers, as they call them, said that basically they wanted people to believe that they were choosing the president, but didn't want to give us the authority to do so because we might be foolish enough to be fooled into electing someone who's a dictator or someone who's just nefarious, so to speak, and gets up there and does whatever. Funny thing is, that's exactly what they did with Trump. Okay? Trump's out there doing all this crazy stuff, and at the end of the day, Trump's being allowed to do these things. That's why the Democrats are not saying anything. That's why they're silent. Okay? They know exactly what's going on here. They're all complicit in it. Same snake, two heads. I've been telling you all this. Now, the reason I go in on Trump is because if Trump wasn't the fool that he is, well, they likely wouldn't have him doing this. They'd probably have somebody else, and I'd still be going in on them. But the thing of it is, they chose Trump because of who he is and how he is. They know that he's a liar who lies, and he doesn't mind telling pathological lies to the public. He doesn't mind twisting narratives. He doesn't mind doing any of these things. And they even told him what talking points to put out to say, oh, go and tell him that you're going to get Jeffrey Epstein's list out there. Okay, because here's what really happens. When they have someone that they've already selected to be president, which is all the time in every election, what they do is they put out the people in front of us and then we vote. So if the popular vote goes to the person they already selected anyway, then they say, oh, this is who y'all voted for president. They let us think that we're the ones who made the decision, but really they made it. That's why when you vote and then the person that everybody voted for, most people voted for, doesn't win, that's when they say, well, you know, the Electoral College, they got more votes because of the Electoral College. When in fact, that's the whole purpose of the Electoral College. Okay, it's facts. Look it up. So with that all been said, honey, they know what Trump is doing and they allow him to do this. At the end of the day, they let him do what he wants to do. Now, Panther Strike seems to be going in on somebody. Panther Strike says, you're cosplaying as a black man at Timothy. No black man I know would ever say they are a patriot. Well, let me say this. That is definitely not a black man. And I don't even think their name is Timothy. Okay? Because to be sitting here talking about move to another country because they burned the flag, that's definitely not the talking points of any black person, not even a raccoon. Not even a raccoon would likely tell you to go to a whole nother country. At least they wouldn't say that to a white man because that man was white. Now, if they said that to a black person, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, another black person. That's what raccoons do. They talk trash about black people, not white folk. So that's not even a raccoon in the chat. Timothy, I'm inclined to think that you don't look like me. Okay, but that's okay if you don't. And if you think that the veteran who was in the military for what, 20-something years, did they say, and won the bronze medal or bronze star? Well, if you think that he needs to go to another country just because he burned a flag, beloved, where did you hail from? Because I happen to know that a lot of y'all that don't look like me, y'all not from here. Y'all are not indigenous to these lands. We are. Y'all want us to think that we all came from Africa, but I know better, and most of us do because I taught y'all that. With that being said, a lot of y'all came from Europe, and you were the rejects who were kicked out of Europe. In fact, Europe said, get the F out of here, and then sent y'all packing. And then some of you came from the UK because some of y'all were in the prisons they had up there that was getting too crowded. They let y'all out and sent the worst of the worst here. Came as thugs, environments. Quiet as it's kept. Quiet as it's kept. Now, this is the kind of talking that gets me in trouble. So let me change topics real quick. Now, that all being said, ooh, honey, this is all nefarious. It's all nefarious. That darn Trump is at it again. Okay? Ray Williams said, Queen, no doubt it's Billy Bob. Okay? Ray Williams, where have you been, honey? Okay, where have you been? All right, so anyway, the one who cares said, speak, Queen. Okay, you know I will. Desmond said, speak it, Queen. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's get back to the matter at hand, honey. All right, put on my spectacles. All right, so here's what's next. DJ Big Six said, it's a shame they censor you like that. You know how they do the poor little old Queen, beloved. It's okay. It's okay. We still get it done. Here's the thing. Listen. Now, one thing, here's the thing that I want you all to pay attention to. You know, the views don't bother me when they lie about my views and they lie about my subscriber count and all that. That stuff really doesn't bother me because I know that they really do that because they really don't want to pay me what I'm worth. That's what ScrewTube doesn't want to do, but that doesn't really bother me because guess what? I don't make my living on ScrewTube. But the other thing is, you know, when they shadow ban people, that's when you know you're talking about something. That's when you know you're telling the truth. Okay. And you're talking about topics that they really don't like being discussed. Social injustices. Okay. Certain things about politics and political parties. Not so much that, but more so the police brutality, social injustices, racism, and all those things. You know, they don't like the pro-Black talking points. So there's a lot of us in the new Black media who are, in fact, shadow banned. My dear friend Lisa Cabrera is one. Okay, True Roll is another. Okay, so that's just how it is. But at the end of the day, If I was up here talking about bull crap, like whether or not Cardi B's pregnant, or if I was just all day talking about, Krishan Rock getting hit upside the head by Blueface, well, I'd have thousands of followers and thousands of views, because that's how that goes. See, they reward you for talking about bullshit that doesn't change anyone's life, doesn't add any type of fruitful benefits to the people that you're speaking to. Gossip and BS, that's what they want you to talk about. Specifically, people who look like me, that's what they want us to talk about. The good thing is, I know that I give excellent commentary. That's one thing that I am sure of. Okay, and so I don't worry about anything else that ScrewTube has going on. Now, that all being said, hold on now, because Timothy said, I am all the way foundational Black America, and people should have the right to voice their opinion. Love it. I agree with you. Okay, so you're foundational Black American. Okay, applaud to you. Applaud to you. Now, with that being said, you do have a right to voice your opinion. No one said you don't. Your opinion is welcome here. Have I blocked you? Have I kicked you out? Did anyone put you in a timeout? You absolutely have a right to voice your opinion, beloved. Now, don't get upset if we think that maybe you weren't one of us just by what you said, okay? Now, with that being said, Timothy, beloved, I appreciate you. And yeah, you can always, agree or disagree. It doesn't matter. Agree to disagree. Okay, so, we love all the loyal royals, honey. That's what we do. Okay, so now, oh, Lord, here we go again. Hold on, you guys. 1 second, please. Lord have mercy. Okay. Sorry, you guys. There was somebody calling to see if I wanted some ice cream. But anyway, let me continue. So, anyway, with that all being said, you know what? Now, Timothy, that does make sense. Let me tell y'all something. That does make sense. Listen, I want y'all to pay attention. Timothy does make sense. That does make sense that Timothy is a foundational Black American, because one thing about people who identify as FBA, a lot of them do like the American flag, okay? And a lot of them do, in fact, consider themselves to be patriots, okay? And so that's likely why Timothy said he can go to another country, okay? So that's what it is. All right, so Easy said we all scream for ice cream. Oh Lord, there's Desmond. Desmond's always counting my calories. Talking about ice cream, huh? Desmond, please sit down. Okay, so with that all being said, okay, Timothy said I love you all too. Well, thank you, beloved. We definitely love you right back. Okay, so now let's talk about it, because here's the thing. Here's the thing, y'all. We got to get into this. Hold on. Let me ask, which one do you all want to hear about first? Do you all want to hear about Shedeur Sanders, Travis Kelce, and Joe Thomas first? Or do y'all want to hear about the racism at that flower shop? Which one? Timothy said, thank you for being understanding. Well, you're welcome, beloved. Absolutely. Okay, which one do y'all want to hear first? Y'all want to hear about Shedeur and what Travis Kelce and Joe Thomas said? Or do y'all want to hear about the ice cream? I mean, not the ice cream. Or do y'all want to hear about the flower shop? Okay, everybody saying Shedeur. Okay, so let's get into it. They're still doing Shedeur dirty. But here's the thing. Travis Kelce, see, now I always like Travis Kelce. There's only one thing that I don't like about Travis Kelce, and that's Taylor Swift. I don't like Taylor Swift. Okay, I just don't. I don't like Taylor, and I never have. Okay, but I do like Travis. Okay, now here's the thing. And in fact, I only gave him one critique, and that was when Travis was getting all the credit for the fade. Y'all remember that? When Travis, I like his haircut now, but he got that from Black men. But remember when they were trying to give Travis Kelce they were talking about the Travis Kelce haircut when they were talking about fades. Do y'all remember that? Honey, they need to sit down, stop trying to steal our stuff, and then remix it and call it something else, like the Kim Kardashian box braids. Say what? Box braids, Kim Kardashian, honey, please, okay? Black folk always had cornrows, so we were the first ones to do it. All right, and here's the thing. That really bothered me when they said that, because for one, Cornrows were started with our ancestors as they were trying to escape into freedom. They were putting the maps of the route in the other slave's head. Like they would braid it into their hair. They also would put like corn and rice in the hair so they would have things to eat along the way. Okay, y'all can thank me later. Now, with that all being said, let's get into it. Okay, because here's what Travis had to say. Travis Kelce wants the Browns to start Shedeur Sanders. Okay, Count Chief star Travis Kelce is in Shedeur Sanders' corner. Now, during this week's episode of the New Heights podcast, Kelce threw his support behind the rookie quarterback to the start for the Browns. Taylor Swift's fiance made the case for Sanders to start. They just had to put Taylor's name in there, didn't they? Let me continue. Made the case for Sanders to start for Cleveland when they kick off their season next weekend against the Bengals, saying that Sanders has been one of the most talked about rookies since this year's draft in April. Now, after he had been originally projected to be a first-round pick, Sanders dropped to the 5th round, where the Browns took him in even after selecting Dillon Gabriel, another quarterback, 2 rounds earlier. And so this is what Travis Kelce says. Give the people what they want in terms of the Browns fans. Okay, he said, start Shedeur. Give the people what they want. The world wants to see him go out there and not only play, but have success. At this point, guys are rooting for him. This isn't anything against Dillon. This isn't anything against Joe Flacco. I'm just saying the excitement is there for Sanders to go out there. He's going to put eyes on the screen. He's going to bring people to the game. Now, this man knows what he's talking about. Okay, shout out to Travis for keeping it real. All right, shout out to Travis for keeping it real. All right, I want y'all to pay attention. See, he's no hater. He is no hater, and that is the truth. People want to see this. Let me tell y'all something. I told you all this days ago. When they look up into the stands at a Cleveland game, and they see number 12 jerseys everywhere. They don't see Joe Flacco's number. They don't see Dillon Gabriel's number. They see Shedeur's number. And then Nike gave Shedeur a deal and all of that. Shedeur's already generated millions of dollars from his contract with the prime equity clause in it. So this is all changing the game, and they don't like the game to be changed unless they're the ones to change it. So all of these things compiled with the other little fires that we had to put out constantly because of Dion, them hating on Dion, thinking he's arrogant, thinking he's going to be doing too much and coming out there and trying to tell Shedeur what to do, probably thinking he's going to be coaching from the sidelines. And then that comment that Dion made when they asked him, is he going to be like, is he going to have anything to do, basically, I'm paraphrasing, with where his son goes? And he was like, yeah, like if you don't want him to go to a certain team or not. And he was like, yeah. He said, but I'm not going to do it in public. I really wish Dion hadn't said that. I really wish he hadn't said that, because see, it's okay for Archie Manning to have said that, like I told you all. But when Dion said it, it's a problem, okay? It's a problem. And here's another thing. Just like I told you all the other day, how now we see that the Browns have their eyes set on Arch Manning. Okay, Archie Manning's grandson. At the end of the day, he played like crap the other day, and we're not getting the same energy and disdain for his game that was trash that we got for the one when Shedeur did badly because he was sabotaged. Okay, they don't have the same energy and smoke. Have y'all noticed that? The people who don't look like me, who always are hating on Shedeur Sanders, okay, the ones who don't like people who look like me, shall I say, because I'm not talking about all white folk, I'm talking about racist white folk who clearly just don't like Shedeur. And they keep saying, oh, he is 5th round pick. He's not supposed to get any breaks. Or he's not supposed to get reps. Or he's 5th round pick and all this, but they know darn well he was projected to be a 1st round pick. And he has the capabilities and talents of being so. What they're doing by having him sitting in the back, just sitting on the bench, they might have him sitting there for the whole darn season, unless Flacco or Dillon gets hurt. But at the end of the day, do y'all think people are really going to want to come to the games if he's not playing? Some diehard fans will, but are the majority of people going to come? We already saw a decline in the viewership after he didn't play. Okay, so we already know how that's going to go. That's right. Leon said they never do. Exactly. Okay, so now with that all being said, he goes on to say Sanders will start the season, or they say Sanders will start the season as a 3rd-string quarterback behind Joe Flacco, who will start, and Gabriel, whom the Browns took in third round in April. So Kelce says, he said he understands starting Flacco is the more logical choice. Well, of course, because Flacco has the experience. Okay, and he's been doing this and he's good at it. But let's just keep it a buck. He's not going to be here next year. Okay, next year he's not going to be starting for the Browns. That's what we know. This man's like 40 years old. Okay, so who will start? Okay, hold on. Sanders will be the, oh, where did I skip? Okay. Kelce said he understands starting Flacco is the more logical choice, but that doesn't temper his excitement for wanting to see Sanders play. See, Joe Flacco should probably be starting, in my opinion. I agree. But then it should be Shedeur. Okay, it should be him, definitely the second quarterback. Now, with that being said, Browns coach Kevin Stefanski, as I call him, explained the decision as to why Sanders was starting the season where he was in the depth chart. It's such an all-encompassing evaluation, he said. Everything the guys did in the games was important. We also saw a lot of them out here in practice and how they are in their craft. Trying to act like he saw something we didn't see. Okay, he's certainly somebody that we think is getting better and better. Y'all hear that? Sanders threw 152 passing yards and 2 touchdowns during his preseason appearance while completing 17 of his 29 pass attempts. Okay, we know he's better than Dillon Gabriel. You all saw the video, I just showed it to you days ago, that went viral when Dillon completely missed the target and Shedeur threw the ball and went right at the net with very good accuracy and precision. Okay, he was born for this. It's in his DNA, and they hate it. Unfortunately for Arch Manning, I'm not sure if it's in his DNA as of yet. Okay, so that all being said, because teaching somebody to play football is one thing, but somebody just being naturally talented in football is another. And there is a difference. Now let's go to what Joe Thomas had to say. Joe Thomas used to play for the Browns. Browns legend Joe Thomas offers strong words for Shedeur Sanders' cult. Did he say a cult? Now, see, that's already coming off rubbing me the wrong way. Sounds like haterade. But anyway, this is what he says. Thomas says there's nuance to every decision and the development of rookie quarterbacks. There's no conspiracy or hidden agenda with Cleveland Browns. Rookie Shedeur Sanders' placement on the team's depth chart heading into the season, according to franchise legend Joe Thomas, who offered a strong opinion this week on how the situation is being handled with his former team. So Thomas said there's nuance in it, with the Shedeur Sanders cult doesn't have, which the Shedeur Sanders cult doesn't have, related to how the Browns are moving forward with their 5th round selection at quarterback, saying the reality of the NFL draft is that you have 32 teams that all want to beat each other. And so they're not conspiring together to sabotage somebody who, by the way, would be great for the league. Well, I'm going to call bullshit on that. This is a damn lie. Already he doesn't know what he's talking about. And if he does know what he's talking about, he's lying on purpose. Because here's why. First of all, we all know that it was projected for Shedeur Sanders to be on the first round draft pick, no lower than second. Him and Cam Ward. We know that. We know that Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, and Travis Hunter were supposed to be the top 3. Okay, so with that all being said, sir, please miss me with it. Talk about they're not out here sabotaging. Of course they are. They were sabotaged from day one. And if we believe what Eric Dickerson said, who's a Hall of Famer, by the way, and has always kept it a buck, well, and I absolutely believe him, and so do many others, when he said that he was told by a reliable source that it was a concerted effort, they all colluded and conspired and said that they would not draft Shedeur. And then somebody called the Browns and said, no, I don't do that. Go ahead and draft him. So, sir, I'm sorry, but this is wrong. Okay, your information is wrong. Now, goes on to say, hold on, these nefarious pop-ups. Okay, goes on to say, who, by the way, would be great for the league. Thomas said recently on Don't At Me with Dan Dakich. Some podcast, I guess. And he is great for the league because the league wants eyeballs. They want people watching their games. They want these great personalities. And so there's no reason they will be trying to conspire against him and sabotage him. Actually, the opposite. They want to promote a guy like that because he is so great for the league. It doesn't make sense on any level. Oh, it doesn't make sense on any level. And that's why you're wrong. Because here's the thing. You're right. It doesn't make sense. Why would you pick a first round draft pick in the 5th round, 144th? Okay, please pay attention to the spiritual number 144. Okay, but with that all being said, sir, If they weren't trying to sabotage him, why would they have all just sat there and just let just kept skipping over him? Why would they do it? Does that that doesn't sound like sabotage or blackballing? Of course that's what it is. So he's defending the Browns because this is his former team. I wouldn't expect him to do anything other than that. So Browns coach Kevin Stefanski's decision to bench Sanders for Ty Huntley in the 2-minute drill during Cleveland's preseason finale was met with widespread discourse, especially after the franchise cut Huntley the following day. And didn't I tell y'all that? I said that made no sense. They knew damn well they're going to cut that man the next day. Didn't I tell y'all that? I said they're going to cut him and they're going to cut the offensive lineman. None of them going to be playing tomorrow. And guess what? 4 out of 5 were cut, just like I told you. Okay, now that all been said, the Browns have since named Joe Flacco their starter and Dylan Gabriel as the number 2 ahead of Sanders following the Kenny Pickett trade to the Raiders. Those vouching for Sanders to start or get more playing time fail to see the bigger picture. Thomas says, no, mother sucker, you fail to see the bigger picture. Again, why would someone, hold on, let me just pull up my damn receipts. Okay, because I'm so over it. Hold on. Now let's talk about the awards that Shedeur Sanders won. Okay, in 2024, he won the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. Okay, the golden arm, yeah, because he has a golden arm. We all know it. We've seen him in action. He won in 2024 the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, and in 2022 the SWAC Offensive Player of the Year, SWAC. Okay. He was also a 2024 Heisman Trophy finalist. All right, and a 2022 Walter Payton Award finalist and received multiple Player of the Week honors and all conference selections throughout his career. What are y'all talking about? Like, this man sounds crazy. Like I said, he's just sitting here trying to defend the Browns' decision. Okay, and Kevin Stefanski. But I'm sorry. This is all cap. Y'all gonna listen to me or him? All right, please pay attention. And remember that what I'm saying is in line with what Travis Kelce, Shannon Sharp, and Ocho Cinco are saying. All right? And a myriad of others. Now, they just believe that we're morons for not being able to see that this guy is the greatest thing since sliced bread. The greatest quarterback since Tom Brady, and he's ready right now to be able to elevate the franchise to their first Super Bowl of all time, and we're the idiots for not seeing it, Thomas said. First of all, that's a whole lot of hating right there. Nobody said any of that. Where did he get that from? Where did he surmise that from? No, we don't think that people are idiots because they don't see that he's the next Tom Brady. See, here's the thing. We know and understand, at least those of us who know football, we know that Shedeur still has some seasoning. We know that he still has some work and some improving. Okay, that's why he needs to be getting these reps and all that. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. The bottom line is he's not being given a fair shot. Why would you not give him the same offensive line as Dylan Gabriel had? Why would you not allow him to participate in a 2-minute drill to redeem himself after his blunders? That only happened because y'all sabotaged him. So this man sounds crazy. I'm sorry. It's given hateration as far as I'm concerned. Nobody said y'all are stupid, but clearly, see, I want you to pay attention to what he's doing. He's trying to flip the script, and he's really gaslighting us, and he's also trying to use reverse psychology because everything he said about us thinking they're idiots, that's what we've said. We've all been saying, those of us who are for Shedeur, we've all been saying collectively that we feel like Stefanski thinks we're idiots. Okay? Didn't I literally just tell y'all that days ago that he thinks we're stupid? He thinks that we don't know football. He thinks that we're not going to see that he's trying to sabotage this young man by putting him out there with 3rd and 4th strings. Okay? And then at the end of the day, they don't even make the cut. He thinks nobody was going to notice that? Yeah, so I'm sorry. What he's saying is reverse psychology, and it's not working. So anyway, it goes on to say, patience is needed with Sanders, whose time will come. I think patience is needed with Dylan Gabriel. We all saw that he's trash, okay? I'm not going to say he's trash. Let me just take that back. But he played a trash game just a day ago, okay? He played a trash game, okay, a couple of weeks ago. Now, with that all being said, and so did Arch Manning, but they're not talking about that. Again, selective outrage. So he says, I think he has a higher ceiling. He's a great playmaker. He has tremendous accuracy. He has the feel when he is in the game of how to make those big plays. But just because you have that ceiling doesn't really that's really high, and that potential to be able to do that doesn't mean that you can do it right now. It doesn't. It doesn't. But we want to see if he can do it right now. Because what we do know is that Dylan Gabriel doesn't have any of that. Okay, and he's getting to play right now. So you need to sit down somewhere, Joe Thomas. Again, it's all cap. Thomas mentioned growing pains that Sanders will experience and developmental needs that will be addressed during practice weekly as a third option on the depth chart. Sanders is taking the correct mindset into the season and said earlier this month he was thankful for opportunity with the Browns, regardless of his placement behind Flacco and others. Now, how do I block out the noise? I've always faced adversity since growing up. This is what Sanders said during preseason camp. Each level, it's always been something. When you figure out how people come at you, life is a cycle. It keeps repeating over and over and over. And then you understand that what game this is or what they're doing. I can never feel less than. Nobody can ever make me mentally get out of position in the situation I'm in. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, because they're trying to break his spirit and they can't do it. Okay, I'm thankful for who I am. I'm thankful for who my dad is. I'm thankful for my family. No one can make me feel bad about the blessings I do have. Hallelujah. Did y'all hear what that young man said, honey? Y'all better recognize, okay? Y'all better recognize, honey. If this ain't primetime son, honey, I don't know who is. All right, he sounds just like his daddy, and I love it. I love it. Easy said, Queen, what flavor haterade he drinking so that I don't drink and become a hater? Honey, he is drinking the blue flavored one, okay? The one that none of us purchased. We like the red. Okay, please pay attention, honey. That's exactly what he was doing. All right, and we don't drink haterade. We drink Gatorade, okay? We know who the haterade's for. Now, with that all being said, honey, that's Joe Thomas's thoughts on that. This is Joe Thomas right here in the back, you guys. This is Travis Kelce, for those of you who don't know. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about this racism going on, honey. Ooh, Lord, they just won't leave black folk alone. Let me tell y'all something. We need to stay on their arse. See, that's why I'm talking about we need to boycott. Mel said Shedeur is so humble. Yes, he is. Leon said he's in a league of his own. Yes, he is. They hate it. They literally hate it. Okay, who does he think he is, coming at her making demands about his contract, putting in a prime equity clause? Who does he think he is, holding up his watch, talking about perfect timing? Who does he think he is, period? That's what they wonder. Okay, they're hating. That's all it is. It's a bunch of sad sap, low vibrational, dirty, dusty, nefarious, hating arse people who don't want to see a black man be great. They cannot stand black excellence. There are some people like that in the world, unfortunately. Okay, but you know what? I was told years ago when I was just a teenager, and this was a white man that told me this. He said, success is the ultimate revenge. Okay? That's what a white man told me. But you know what my stepdad told me? And they were both right. My stepdad told me that revenge is a dish best served cold. Okay? So what I said all that to say is this. Shedeur, beloved, when you get out there, I want you to eat the whole table. I want you to clean the plate and throw away the fork and leave no crumbs. So whoever comes behind you, they're going to have to put in all that work. Okay? They're going to have to put in all that work, because you're going to get your time, your opportunity, young man. And when you do, baby, you show them how it's really done. Okay? That's what you got to do. Show them how it's really done. All right? So with that all being said, honey, because like my friends James R. Sanders always says, you can't win when you play dirty. And that's facts. All right, so now let's talk about this racism going on, honey, in this little shop. Lord, they fired this black woman. And as she was leaving, they just said the little racist stuff, honey. It was all so ridiculous. And just, I really feel bad that they have to just go in on black people. Why can't they just leave us alone? What did we ever do to deserve any of it? Hold on. I almost forgot this tidbit. Before we get into that, let me show you all what the people are saying about Arch Manning. Okay, so y'all won't think that I'm just being biased when I'm calling him out on his trash game. He's just not that good. I mean, I did like Peyton and Eli, okay, but I'm sorry, Arch just ain't it for me. Maybe he'll be better at some point, but not this one.
Arch Manning, Shedeur Sanders. Is it a double standard in the media?
100%. Because of Shedeur Sanders' last name, he was getting all this extra criticism, all this extra backlash. He fell in the draft. Arch Manning played like complete shit, has a great team around him, great coaching staff, has been getting prepped up for years, and people don't care that he played like shit against Ohio State yesterday. You know, there's a complete double standard.
So why do you think that some people look at the Mannings as this golden family in the NFL, then when it comes to the Sanders, it's strictly criticism and a lot of backlash? Why is that?
The Sanders, you know, they're big in the media. They like to talk a lot, you know, like the whole, like, Buffaloes were like must-see TV, you know, like they're like a big social media team. The Mannings, you know, they're a lot more quiet, but they have like the accolades to back it up. You know what I mean? Like from like there's 3 Hall of Fame level quarterbacks in that family already, and now they have a 5-star prospect. So
let's get to the nitty-gritty. If you are a franchise owner in the NFL, who are you taking to be the quarterback of your franchise, Shedeur Sanders or Arch Manning?
Okay, I think still I would take Arch Manning. Talent-wise, like he has a lot more. Like I trust Arch Manning more as a quarterback. You know, Shedeur also has some intangibles and like his stuff off the field I don't like as much. But I'm just saying overall, like from their play in college, I do think there's still a double standard. You know, but I would take Arch Manning.
Arch Manning, Shedeur Sanders.
I want y'all to pay attention. Now I want y'all to pay attention. You know what he just proved right there? See, this is why I played that video. This is why I played that video. We the people said Arch Manning is nepotism. Shedeur is genetics. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is nepotism. Arch Manning is not that damn good. Okay, they can miss me with it. They're trying to hype his ass up because who his family is, who his family is. But at the end of the day, Shedeur has it in his DNA. Okay, he was born with it. Okay, he was born with it. Now, with that all being said, Mel says Arch Manning don't have nothing on Shedeur. Exactly. But here's the thing. I want you to pay attention to what that young man just said. Even though he said that it's a double standard, he still chose Arch Manning, and he gave his reason why. He said he still trusts Arch Manning, and then he mentioned Shedeur's antics off the field. Now I want y'all to pay attention to why that's important. Why is that important? Because what the hell does his antics off the field have to do with him on the field? Make it make sense. When he's off the field, he's just being himself, a humble young man, you know, living life, doing what he can do, practicing and all of that, focusing on football. But no, it's the fact that he's a masculine black man, and the fact that he has what some would call bravado, okay, and also he has the confidence. And some people will call it arrogance, but either way, at the end of the day, they don't like to see a black man with either, okay, unless they instill it in them and give you the permission to be confident in yourself. Okay, but how dare you come up in here and telling us what you can do and what you want and what you don't want and where you're not going to go and what we should or shouldn't do. Don't do that. That's the attitude. See, that's how he feels. Even though he knows that it's wrong for them to have a double standard, he still has one. You see, that's the thing about it. That's why y'all need to stop inviting everybody to the damn cookout, because you could hear somebody like him saying that and not hear that last question that the man asked him, and I'm so glad he did. And y'all will be sitting here, some of y'all will be, oh, he needs to come to the cookout. No, hell you don't. Stop inviting everybody to the cookout, okay? Stop inviting everybody to the cookout. Some of y'all invite people to the cookout too darn soon, as far as I'm concerned. Some of y'all sit up there and invite people to the cookout just because they can dance like us or sing like us or rap like us. Sit down somewhere. The Klansman had in locks like mine. Are y'all going to invite him to the cookout? Are y'all going to invite him to the cookout? I showed y'all the picture just days ago. But with that all being said, y'all heard what he said, honey. He said he would steal. And that's because Easy said we need to learn from white code. Exactly. You see how he said he would still choose Arch Manning? That's because he is on code. That's one thing I gotta love about white people. That's one thing you gotta love about them. They're always on code. They're always on code. Pay attention. Okay? Now he sat there and said all that. But at the end of the day, when asked to make a choice, he chose the white man. I can't even be mad at him. I can't even be mad at him. Even though me personally, I would have just told the truth. Which one is better is the one I would have picked, because I'm a sore loser and I love to win. I live for the wins and I hate the losses. But with that all being said, let's hear what this man has
Arch
to say.
Manning's performance was a perfect example of how the sports media destroys careers before they even get a chance to start. Y'all crowned somebody who didn't want to be crowned. His parents told y'all he wasn't ready. His grandfather said he wasn't ready. His entire family tree said, stop giving him all this praise. He hasn't done anything. The play calling really killed Texas today because they were trying to force plays on him instead of just doing a tempo offense so he can get into a rhythm. Because as soon as y'all did that, you marched down the field and you were able to make something happen. The minute that you stopped and tried to do quarterback sneaks, like that goal line in the beginning of the game where you basically just tried to force it in instead of handing it off to a running back who for sure would have got that for you, was one of the main issues. But he needs to focus on the fundamentals. That's really what this is about. Like I said, they have some easy games coming up. So watch how the media tries to spin him being the second coming after he has amazing games next week. What do you guys think Arch Manning can do differently for the next game and how he can bounce back from this performance, man? Y'all comment down below.
I think he needs to sit down somewhere. That's what I think. First of all, he's hard on the eyes. Okay, and I don't want to keep seeing him in the media. I just don't. He's not a good-looking dude. Okay? He's not a good-looking dude, honey. All right? I'm sorry. I know some of y'all probably think that ain't got nothing to do with the queen. Well, it may not, but nonetheless, it's always a lot easier to look at somebody, even if they're nefarious, if they look pretty good. That's all I'm saying. Honey. Don't hate me. And so anyway, with that all being said, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Why did I go there? Why did I go there? I'm sorry. That was unwarranted. It was totally unwarranted. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's talk about it because, baby, they is giving black folk a hard time. Okay, Reggie said he's attractive challenged. Exactly, Reggie. You know how I do. I don't call them ugly. I just say they attractive deficient, honey. Okay? Their face card got declined, clearly. Easy said Queen is coldly honest. Thank you, beloved. I try. Hold on. Adrian said, are you surprised Peyton and Elon looks inbred? You mean Eli? They look better than him, though, boo-boo. I got to tell you the truth. Okay, so now, with that being said, let's get into it. Because here's the thing. They've been going in hard in the paint on black folk. Okay, Luna said, Queen said the quiet part out loud. Okay, did I? Now, here's the thing. Dorana said, and the Queen sips her tea. Mel said the truth will set you free, okay? But Reggie said they do have bubble heads. Okay, it's true. Now, listen, they've been going in on the black folk, and I want you all to pay attention. You see, because I tried to tell you all as well as the Africans. And then one African came in my chat and called me an Akato. Yes, they did. I thought it was interesting. But anyway, so here's the thing. They, not in my chat, but in my comment section. But here's the thing. So I was trying to tell you all, and this is a prime example of how, it's fine to boycott some of those African stores and shops where they're being disrespectful and rude. But equally, we should do the same to others, okay? So with that being said, they have been going in on black folk as of late. There was a Staples found in a child's bread at a restaurant. Did you all hear about that? Because we're going to talk about it right now. How they found staples in this child's bread. And just to let you know how much we're hated collectively, there were some people who don't look like me in the chat, and they were saying that the black people were lying, that they put the staples in the bread to try to get a quick come up. But that has since been debunked, and I'm going to show you why. But with that being said, they went in about that, saying the black folk were lying. And then the people at the restaurant, I think it was Texas Roadhouse, they didn't even want to comp the meal. They gaslit them completely. Okay, so then you had the tennis player, Ostapinko, going in on Taylor Townsend, called her uneducated and all of that just because she lost the battle, and she was upset because she lost her match. And then now you have this black woman getting fired from this flower shop, and they're just saying disparaging things as she exits. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. This is all a hot mess. Can black people just live and be free? Obviously not.
No. The cops will be here if you don't get out of here.
Oh, don't worry. You can call them. Don't mind. I just want to clock out.
Just go, okay?
We've asked you to get out of the building.
Please.
I'm clocking. You told me to clock out.
No, we didn't.
You've already.
I didn't clock out. Let me just clock out. I'll leave. Don't worry. and I need to get my stuff from the car. So I don't mind till leave. Don't worry.
Why do you keep doing this? You just clocked out.
I haven't clocked out. She just told me right now, and I was walking to the front. It just said clocked out.
Please go.
It just said clocked out. They're so funny. Can I get my stuff from the car?
Yeah.
Please. Did I left anything?
Watch your purses and stuff.
Watch your purses. Guys, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Like, being black is really a crime. Ugh. Being black is really a crime. Being black is really a crime. She's telling them lock their cars. Hold your purses like I'm gonna steal it or something. I've never stole at this place. I started working here. I do my job. She's telling them lock their cars like I'm gonna go inside their cars, or like I talk to them rudely in any way, kicking me out their store rudely. I couldn't, giving me a hard time to clock out. Just being rude. So being black is literally a crime. I'm just here to get my stuff. I did not steal anything. I did not take anything. I am not a thief. That's not what I'm here for. So this is Leanne's local pedal shop. This is Leanne's local pedal shop. I was just told leave. I was just told to leave. And they're like, oh, we'll call the police. We'll do this. Like, being black is literally a crime. Like, they will sit here and be angry with you for the things that they do themselves. She's like, give me my keys. Like, I'm going to steal her car. Where am I going? And they're like, you're recording for what, though? I mean, that's fine. A regular card is not the issue, but I could, like, she steal something, or you don't have to answer anything. That will.
Okay. So, are you wanting to trespass? Yeah. Okay. But give me just a few minutes, okay? How can someone trespass while they're there? Right now, hopefully you're all detained until you get trespassed. You said it's what? Hopefully you all are detained until I do the trespass paperwork.
Wait, what are we doing?
Okay, I want you all to pay attention because that was just a hot mess. Okay, that was a hot mess. So they called the police on her. I guess she didn't get out fast enough. But let's go to the next video. This is all just so ignorant to me. It was unnecessary. She was clearly leaving.
Watch your purses and stuff.
Watch your purses. Guys, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Like, being black is really a crime.
Bye.
I want to let you know.
Can I have your name, please?
So I want to let you know, coming
Can I
from
have your
another
name,
white
please?
person, because clearly
You
this
need to go.
behavior has been enabled by the
No.
people that you're surrounded
No.
with.
No.
That shit is unacceptable.
Well, you're it.
Treating
Let's go.
a teenage girl like that
She's not a teenager.
is
She's
outrageous.
actually 22 years old.
Regardless, she's pretty much a child.
You want to give me your name?
And the way that you
Do you wanna
guys
give me your
acted
name?
is unacceptable. What's your name?
What's your name?
What's your name? I wasn't the
Nadia.
one being racist.
I wasn't either.
What's your? Oh, really? Then who was the owner?
No.
That
nobody.
said, hide your purses and lock your cars.
Nobody was.
You people are
Can you
racist.
please-
I
Will you-
hope that she
Free
sues
call the
you.
cops.
I hope she sues you, and I hope she wins. And
We're
I hope
gonna
this
sue her.
business goes under.
It's not
Because
gonna.
you people are racist.
You know, I don't.
You
understand
people are
you.
disgusting.
You know,
You
Do you not
should
have
not
a
be in
job?
business working with the public if you're going to be racist like
we're
that.
not racist.
You are racist. I saw the
No.
video,
Well,
and you saw
and
it
you
too,
took one
because
person's
clearly
opinion,
you knew what the
and
video
y'all
was when you saw
all
it.
ran with it,
Right.
Because you want
Right.
your 10 minutes of fame.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Yes.
Really? The
Yes.
only black girl in the shop, and you're being racist.
No.
Let's be serious,
No, that's
Grandma.
not.
Okay?
It's not.
That's unacceptable
You know what?
behavior.
I don't know how I could be racist.
I
when
need
have
you
3
to
black
hear it.
children.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I need you to hear it from another white person.
Okay, you need to go.
That shit is unacceptable, and you should be ashamed of yourself. And I hope that you're not a Christian, because that is the
am.
most unchristian thing
I am.
that you can do.
God loves
You
you.
think Jesus
Jesus
you
will
think-
save you.
Yeah, and God will judge you. Do you think that Jesus would
God
have said
doesn't
that to that
judge.
girl? Do you think Jesus would have said that to that girl?
I know what Jesus
Do you
would have
think
said.
Jesus would have? What would she have said? What would Jesus
I
have
said
said
to her?
No, incorrect.
I did not call her any names.
Whoever said
said
hide your
Jesus would have
purses,
said the
whoever
same
said that
stuff.
racist
Lord,
shit about hide your purses and lock your cars, you should be ashamed of yourself. I'm ashamed to live in the same state as you people. Okay?
Us people.
I feel, I hope that you feel one day
I'm
that what
ashamed
you
to
did
live
to
in
her
with
was
people like you,
unacceptable. People like
because
me,
you are
I don't
being
do that
so
shit to people.
rude.
I don't do that.
She doesn't have any darn black children, and if she does, she adopted them to make them into slaves. I bet you that's what she did.
That shit to people. I'm not prejudiced like that. I'm not racist like
Really?
that. I hope that she sues you guys and your business goes under.
Well, it's not gonna.
Well, I hope it
Because
does.
we're gonna
I
take
hope
care
it
of her.
does. I hope it does. Because that's unacceptable.
Our business
That's
is
unacceptable.
booming.
I hope one day you repent and all that hatred in your heart goes away.
I have no hatred in my heart.
I would beg to differ because I saw different.
You know what?
I saw
You
different.
must not be very much of a Christian, because
Really?
if you were,
Really?
you would know.
Really?
Ye not just
Jesus would have came in here and flipped every one of your tables. I hope you know that.
No, he
I
would
hope
not.
you. Yes, he would have. Yes, he would have. Yes, he would
Not
have.
Jesus
I
flipping
hope that you
tables.
people feel ashamed of what you're doing, because that is a horrible thing to say to somebody. Are you the owner? Or, who? What's your name?
My name's Janie.
You're Janie?
Yeah.
You work for a racist.
No,
Janie.
you were not
You
here.
do.
You do not know what happened.
I saw the video of
You
what
saw a
happened.
cut
I
video.
saw where you or whoever it was
wasn't me.
said hide your purses and hide your car keys. You people are racist and you should be ashamed of yourselves.
Again, you saw a
You
cut
should
video.
be ashamed. I saw exactly what I saw and you should be ashamed of yourself.
We didn't need to see the whole damn thing to hear what she said. She sitting up there keeps telling that woman, you didn't see the whole thing. Like, which? We don't need to see the whole thing. We heard the racism. Okay, like they really get on my nerves with that. Okay, you didn't see the whole thing. We don't need to. We heard you say, everybody hide your purses. Everybody lock your cars, as if she's a thief. Did you fire her for stealing? No, you didn't. Okay, so sit down somewhere, racist pigs. But let's continue.
Okay.
I hope that this business goes under because you guys deserve it. And I hope
God
you
loves
both can
you.
repent. All that hate in your heart, I hope it goes away because that behavior is unacceptable. Have a great day.
I'd have told her to have a rotten day, like the way she looks. Okay, so anyway, with that, I've been saying looking like the crypt keeper. Baby, I would have told her a whole bunch of things that were not nice. But what got me is when the lady said Jesus would have came in here and been flipping the tables, honey. Because do y'all remember that scripture? I know y'all don't, because y'all asses don't read. But anyway, y'all don't read the Bible, that is, with y'all low down nefarious selves. Okay, do y'all know it's a scripture in the Bible where Jesus went in and started flipping the tables, honey? Okay, sure did. He went into the temple, honey, and overturned the tables of money changers, okay, and the benches of those selling doves. Pay attention. Pay attention, okay? So when she said that, honey, I knew she was on point, okay? She wasn't just saying all that Christian stuff for nothing, honey. She reads the Bible. All right. Look at Desmond talking about I know that scripture. Desmond, when's the last time you read a scripture? Sit down somewhere. Okay. Now, with that all being said, I'm just teasing Des. I'm just teasing Des. Okay, now listen. Here is another one, and I believe this is the girl's sister. She's not really showing her face, but she's talking about it, so I'm gonna play the audio. She's talking about something that happened after the fact.
I want to make this video just to clear some things up because I see my sister is getting a lot of heat for having my back. So just to like clear some things up, one, that's my family, so she's always going to have my back and support me. Two, she was also working at Leanne's local pedal shop in Georgetown, Kentucky. And also, I don't know if you guys noticed from the video, my sister dropped me off that morning, never went into the store at all, not even touched a door handle. When my sister came to pick me up, we were both detained for trespassing, although my sister had nothing to do with the situation that happened inside of the store. She was never there. She was just simply there to pick me up from work.
Now, y'all heard that. So her sister came there to pick her up from work and they detained her as well. Had not even been in the store. Okay, y'all hear this bull crap?
And she was also detained. So that's why she's going also as hard, because she was also put in a very uncomfortable situation that frankly had nothing to do with her. She wasn't on clock. She wasn't working that day. She wasn't bothering anybody. She didn't come inside the store. She just simply came to pick me up. So yeah, I just wanted to clear that.
Damn shame, honey. Came to pick up her sister and got detained. Okay, now let's go to what a couple of TikTokers had to say about it. This is all a hot mess, honey. I'm telling you, they out here doing black people bad, honey, in 2025.
Bitch, I don't know if it's because the world is ending, but TikTok has been in shambles between the tennis player that called that black lady uneducated, the Texas Roadhouse that gaslighted that lady for the staples inside of her bread that almost choked the child. And now I'm looking at Leanne's Petal Flower Local Shop, bitch. Oh my God. We are standing on business with each and every single one of y'all. Each and every single one of y'all are getting held accountable for the bullshit. What is going on? I just watched the video, and shout out to the white women that are holding these nasty racist pigs accountable. You are queens. But bitch, when I tell you, I just watched a video of the Leanne Petal Shop owner, the lady that was saying watch your purse. She hired somebody and then literally was telling people to watch your purse and stuff, trying to be racist and stuff.
Right.
I just watched a couple of undercover white go in that there and just I just y'all, I'm gonna leave the video down for y'all to go look. Bitch, I'm dead.
Okay, and let me tell y'all something. She did another video where she was talking about what people were saying in the comments. Sitting there talking about, oh, honey, let me just go to it, honey. This is all just so crazy. Because the girl said, I didn't steal anything from there. So they're trying to make that like, oh, she stole from another job. Like the girl clearly said multiple times that I'm not a thief. I don't steal. But this is what they do. This is how you can tell these are such diehard racist people, honey.
So this
They
is
won't
a
even
young
give you
lady that was
empathy.
hired at the flower shop. First they told her to clock out, and as she clocking out, they keep pressuring her to leave or whatever. And as she's leaving, that's when the lady said, "Hide your purses and lock your car doors." And then, she makes a comment saying, I've, being black is a crime. I've never stolen in this place. They telling people to hide their purses and lock the door. Do you know that it's people in the comment section saying she said she never stole at this place? And then there's another baboon talking about I caught that too. Not this place, but maybe another. Bitch, they hate us. I'm telling you, how cruel and evil could you be to see someone getting humiliated as she already is being humiliated? It's so crazy. She literally is talking about the fact that they told her to get out and they're telling her to hide the purses and lock the doors. She's literally making a comment about the fact that she has never stolen before in the place that she's working at, for them to be making that statement.
Okay, I mean, honey, it is just all so sad. Now, did y'all see? Because she literally had it on the screen. She literally had the comments on the screen. Oh, I noticed she said she's never stolen from there before. And then the other person's like, yeah, I caught that too. Like they're trying to imply that she stole from a different job. Like, get your stupid self out of here. Okay, here's the company, Leanne's Local Petals. Okay, it looks like it doesn't look very professional to me. It looks like a bunch of bullshit. It looks like a garage sale. I'm sorry, it's giving hoarders. Okay, it's giving Fred Sanford. Okay, a junkyard. All right, here they go right here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I heard that business was doing pretty bad these days. I hope so. I hope it's all true. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about it, because another thing that the young girl had mentioned in that video was about the staples in the bread. So yeah, I happened to see that video on Instagram the other day, right? So they were basically, hold on, they were basically trying to say that the black people made it all up, honey. They was talking about they can tell by the way the staples were in the bread that that wasn't even the same kind of bread that was on the table. Oh, like these people wanted a free meal. Yeah, that's what they implied. But hold on, we're gonna get to the bottom of it.
Staples in bread? What?
Okay, so staples in the bread. Now let me just tell you all this. That was for a little kid that was going to eat that, mind you. And so the little child could have gotten that stuff caught in their throat. They could have choked. You know, anything could have happened. Okay, it could have ripped their esophagus or cut them or whatever. But they didn't even want to comp the people's meal. Okay, which I find very interesting. Now, this lawyer came out and did a video about it. I'm going to go to his video, and then we're going to see what corporate had to say after they reached out to corporate. Okay, Laverne said, love you, Queen. Ice cream is on me. Well deserved. Oh, thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings, honey. All right. Thank you so kindly. But, honey, I didn't want any ice cream. You know what I really want? And I'm going to take this $10 and get it, too. I want me some of those seaweed chips. I think I'm addicted to those. But thank you, beloved. I really appreciate your kind words and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so now with that being said, let's go to this video of what this attorney had to say about it. And the people in the comments weren't thrilled with him either.
Trending on TikTok.
They were telling him they're lying. The black people are lying. They're running a scam. They were trying to get a free meal. No, I'm gonna prove to y'all that's not what they were trying to do.
Right now, and apparently her family, mom, her and her little sister that's 6 years old, went to Texas Roadhouse. The rolls that they got, the little girl that was 6 years old took a bite and pulled it out of her mouth, as far as I can understand, based on her video, and said there's something hard in there. And so they grabbed the roll, opened it up. There were staples in the roll. Part of the video where they're talking to one of the managers there at this Roadhouse, and they said, well, maybe this came out of whenever they opened the bag or box for the dough, that maybe the staples fell in there by mistake. And that's exactly what these staples remind me of. Like, this is a huge thing, because if this little girl had eaten these staples, like taken and like swallowed it, it could have done severe damage to her digestive tract. And then Roadhouse would be in a whole lot more legal issues, I would think. They have a duty to provide safe food for their customers. This appears to be genuine, like not something that's set up based on how the story is told and the video. And then you even hear the managers coming over and saying, oh, we're so sorry, all this stuff.
Okay, so now they weren't thrilled with him. Like I said, they didn't like his take on it because he seemed to believe the family. Thank you, Luna, beloved, for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, Luna says, you are my queen. Thank you, beloved, and you're my loyal royal. Okay, so now with that all being said, this is what I want y'all to hear. Songwriter Sunny said, genuine staple sandwich. Trisha said, this sounds nefarious as F. Okay. Desmond said, I'm scared to eat out now. Desmond, please sit down. You'll be eating White Castles before the day's over. I bet you already had some, but let me continue because it ain't my business. Okay? Oops, Desmond, I didn't mean to bust you out. Of course I did. Since you tried to go in on me when you thought I was going to be eating ice cream, sir. Okay? He's always trying to blackmail me. Y'all just don't even know the trouble I go through with my chief moderator. But anyway, now this is what happened. This is how you know that the family didn't lie. Okay? This is how you know that the family didn't lie. Now, first of all, the man saying that the staples could have gotten in there from the opening of the dough. I'm not inclined to believe that either, because first of all, I guess it could have happened and then it was baked in the bread. Is that what they're saying? Clearly it would have to have been baked, but I don't think that was it. You know what I think? Easy said Queen taking comp is a way to prevent a lawsuit. Right. Now here's the thing. Exactly, beloved. You're right, Easy. That's a very good point. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, Songwriter Sonny said, did the sandwich at least stay together? Could they staple burritos? Honey, sit down somewhere, Songwriter Sonny. Okay, you know you're wrong for it. But here's the thing. I think that the staples were purposely put in there. Yeah, that's what I think. I think the staples were purposely put in there and they were hoping that someone would consume them, specifically somebody at that table. I think so. Now, the question is, did they tick off somebody that was the waiter, one of the wait staff, and maybe they did it because, you know, people do shady things. But it looks to me like those staples were purposely put in that bread. That's just what it looked to me. Like they were purposely put in there to cause somebody to choke or what have you. Okay, and I don't think they intended for the people to see it before they ate it. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I could also be absolutely right. Okay, so here's what happened when they called corporate. This is how you know they're not lying.
All right, so after Maya's video about finding staples in her sister's roll at Texas Roadhouse went viral, corporate reached out to her the very next morning, which was good that they acted quickly.
And it's truly thanks to you guys that I got a phone call bright and early this morning from corporate, Texas Roadhouse. They were made aware of the situation.
They offered her a $70 gift card, but here's the problem. Maya didn't take it. Why? It was about food safety and how the local manager treated her family. From an online reputation management standpoint, here's where Texas Roadhouse missed. They led with compensation, not accountability. Customers don't want to feel like you're buying them off. No clear corrective action. The public wants to hear, we're investigating. Here's how we'll make sure this never happens again. Maya refusing the card actually makes her more credible and the brand looks less sincere. So here's the lesson. Lead with empathy, accountability, and transparency. If you offer something like a gift card, it should support the apology, not replace it. Because sometimes $70 isn't the answer to a reputation crisis. Businesses, are you fixing the problem or are you just paying it away?
That's right. So that's the thing. These idiots sit up here saying that they were just trying to do that to get a free meal. First of all, I need you to think about this. If someone is trying to get a free meal, and some people do. I had a friend in college who would do that, and he was rich. But he would take all of us out to eat, and every now and then he didn't want to pay for it. So he'd snatch a piece of hair out and throw it on the table or in the food and say, yeah, you know, this has hair in it or whatever. So there are some people that do that. But my thing is, if they were going to put something in the food so that they didn't have to pay for it, couldn't you have found something a bit more logical than staples? Staples? First of all, who's riding around with staples in their pocket or their purse or their wallet? That's for number one, okay? Yeah, you know what? We're going to eat at Texas Roadhouse. So just so we don't have to pay for it, let's take these staples. We'll put them in the food when we get there. And so we don't have to pay for it. Yeah, really? Who's thinking of this dumb stuff? Okay, please make it all make sense. See, this is the ignorance of the racist devils who sit there and try to discredit anything that a Black person says. Okay, I mean, it would have been so much easier to just pluck out a piece of hair and throw it in there, a piece of paper, or anything besides a staple if they were trying to run a whole con game. And how you know that that's not what they were trying to do is because when corporate called her the very next day after the story went viral and offered her $70, a gift certificate or what have you, she turned it down. She turned it down, and I've done the same thing. Let me tell you something. Years ago, I went to Papa Joe and I was sitting there watching as the guy's making my pizza. And so he's touching the money. He's touching the register. I even saw him walk and put something in the trash can. And he literally picked up the lid of the can with his hand, came back over, no gloves, and went to start making the dough for my pizza. Excuse me, sir, say what? So I said to him, I sat there and let him go ahead and do all he was going to do. And when he came back to the window, I said, excuse me, I don't want that pizza. You can cancel it. He said, oh, you don't want it? Did you want a different kind? I said, no, I don't want the pizza. I just saw you touching money, touching the register, touching the trash can. And why don't you have on gloves? Let me speak to the manager. So the manager walks us over. And the manager says, and these are black people, just so you know, this is a black guy doing this, and this is a black manager that comes over. And she sits there and tells me some bull crap about they don't have to put on gloves. So y'all don't have to wear gloves? Is that what you're telling me? Okay, well, yeah, okay. Let me just record this real quick because I will be calling corporate tomorrow. What's the number? Yeah, so I called corporate the next day and complained about it. And I said, you know, not just the fact that they did that to my food, but doing this to other people's food is clearly unsanitary and nefarious. And so they offered me a free pizza or some bull jive or whatever that they was trying to give me or whatever. And I told them, no, thank you. I will never eat at your restaurant again. Ever. I don't need coupons. Okay, I don't need a free pizza. I don't want it. Thank you, but no thank you. So yeah, she didn't want that $70 gift certificate because it was probably just going to be to eat there again. And who wants to eat there after that? Okay, so that's the thing. If she just wanted a free meal, she would likely have taken it. If they had put the staples in there themselves, she would have definitely taken it. Okay? If they were running a scam. But see, that's the illogical thinking of those who don't like people who look like me. All right? And I'm going to find a new word to call them. I'm not going to keep calling them racist because that's played out and tired. And at the end of the day, it's surely something better suited because the reason for the racism is nothing more than hate and envy. That's just what it is. It's nothing more than hate and envy. And it's really sad. Okay? It's really sad that Black people and other people have to go through all of this for no good reason other than people don't like how you look, honey. It's all a shame. But now, with that all being said, I'm about to be up out of here. But before I do, let me just tell you all about this this earthquake in Afghanistan that killed 800 people. It was a 6.0 magnitude, okay, on the Richter scale. Officials said that more than 1,300 people were injured in the quake, which struck outside the eastern city of Jalalabad, near the border of Pakistan. 800 people dead. This had to be devastating. Okay, I'm going to go to the footage. Prayers for Afghanistan, honey. Especially after the U.S. went over there for 20 whole years talking about they fighting a war to take the Taliban out of control. But when they left, the Taliban was still in power. Please make it all make sense. Okay, not to mention they left over $80,000 allegedly worth of military equipment and came back empty-handed. But you know the real reason they were over there, in my opinion, was because they were over there stealing all the poppy seeds. Okay, they were over there getting all the production for the Coca-Cola that's sold over here in the United States. That's what they were really over there for, don't y'all think? Don't y'all think that's what they were over there for 20 years? Y'all over there acting like y'all fighting this war to take the Taliban out of power. And then when y'all leave, the Taliban's right back in power. Make it all make sense. And then talking about they left all that equipment over there. Let me tell y'all something. I think they were money laundering too. This is y'all's government. This is y'all's government. This government is nefarious. That's why I keep telling y'all, any Black person that trusts this nefarious government of the United States, now I've been telling you all this for years, you have to be out of your mind. You have to be out of your mind. And that's just a fact. Okay? Ooh, honey, look at the rubble. Okay, let's get started with this. This is all so sad. Prayers and condolences for Afghanistan. Let me see here. There we go.
Tonight, victims trapped for hours as rescuers scramble to find survivors under the rubble of a powerful earthquake that struck Afghanistan early this morning. The 6.0 magnitude quake hit in the mountains near the Pakistani border, striking in the middle of the night as people slept. It was midnight when the quake started, breaking our house. God have mercy, we managed to escape outside, this man says, who says several family members were killed. Many people in this remote region live in desperate poverty, making less than $1 a day. Tonight, first responders struggling to reach the area. Roads blocked from widespread disruption, collapsing already fragile homes. People dependent on the Taliban government for help. Seen here evacuating the wounded, including young children, on helicopters. Many were not reached in time. Everything here has been destroyed. I want the government to come and help us, this man says. Afghan officials say at least 800 people have died and expect that number to rise, while aftershocks were reported as far away as India. And tonight, the Taliban Health Ministry has asked for the international community's assistance in the quake's aftermath as the death toll there keeps rising. Hallie?
Kira Simmons, thank you.
So sad, honey. So very sad. Prayers and condolences again. Now, with that all being said, we the people said, didn't they find a bunch of gold in Iraq? Honey, yes, they did. That was back in, I believe, 2003. They found a bunch of gold, honey. And who found it? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. The U.S. troops. Okay, they seized all these gold bars worth around $868 million in a truck. Now, there were some initial reports that came out and said that gold belonged to Saddam Hussein, honey. But then the U.S., the White House, that is, came out and stated that, you know, the seized bars revealed they were mostly copper and zinc, not gold. Stop lying, U.S. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, and then talking about it was likely melted down shell casings rather than solid gold. Ooh, child, they need to sit down somewhere. And then let's not forget there was another separate discovery in 2013 of some ancient gold coins in Ahmadiyyah, Iraq or something like that, after it was a heavy rainfall or whatever they were saying, honey. Let me tell y'all something, honey. The U.S. is over there stealing gold from these countries, I promise you. Okay, let's not forget how when Muammar Gaddafi was assassinated, we saw literal footage of the soldiers over there, our soldiers from the U.S. military, over there having bars of gold. Now, we know that Muammar Gaddafi had 144 tons. There's that number again, 144. Please pay attention. 144 tons of gold. That mysteriously they say came up missing. It didn't come up missing. Those soldiers took it. I think the government told them to. And that's why they killed him, because Muammar Gaddafi was about to have his own. He was about to change the game over there in Africa. Okay, he was about to change the game over there and have everything backed by gold. And the U.S. couldn't compete. Okay, that was a problem for them. That's right. Mel said the U.S. government are thieves. Of course they are. Okay, of course they are, honey. It's all so sad, including nefarious. All right. With that all being said, there was another comment Nicole said. Nicole said, that's crazy. I'm starting to believe they really are using HARP. Of course they are. Of course they're using it, beloved. That's exactly why they created it, honey. Let me tell you something. They've been using HARP for decades. Okay, did you all know that back in 1974, you can do the research, there was 149 tornadoes in one damn day in this country. Can y'all believe that? Now, you know darn well that had to be HARP. Hold on. Tornado outbreak. That's what they called it. And it was on April the 3rd of 1974, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't believe that I am. Okay, because I was telling my students about this a few years ago. Okay, so yeah, on April the 3rd through 4th in 1974, a violent tornado outbreak described as the outbreak of the century caused widespread devastation across 13 states in the United States and one Canadian province, dubbed the 1974 super outbreak and the jumbo outbreak. 149 tornadoes touched down in a 24-hour period, honey. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. 149 tornadoes touched down. And if I'm not mistaken, about more than 40 of them were killer tornadoes. Now, y'all think that's a coincidence? Y'all think that just all happened? 149 darn tornadoes in one day in a 24-hour span? Honey, that was all day HARP. Okay, that was all day HARP. Okay, Laverne said HARP been around for some time. Exactly, honey, and a whole bunch of other nefarious bull crap too. How long has HARP been around? Hold on, let's look it up. Let's get into it. The High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, that's what HARP stands for, was initiated as a congressional program in 1990, and the facility began operating in 1999. Now they're lying. I promise you they are lying, honey. HARP was established as this is all lies. Okay, I promise you. HARP has been around longer than now. Here they got talking about 1993. So this is all lies. Okay, let me tell y'all something. Y'all need to really be paying attention, because what they're doing is any information you try to get on certain things now, let me tell y'all something. They're going to lie. They know damn well they used HARP for all them damn tornadoes in 1974, honey. I know what I'm talking about, honey. They could miss me with it. I read this at least a decade and a half ago. Now, with that being said, hold on. Let me go to ChatGPT. And ChatGPT, you better not tell no damn lie. Hold on, honey. 1990. Yeah, right. That's bull crap. Okay. And they also make clouds. They have a cloud making machine at NASA, by the way. Are they still sticking to the lie? I promise y'all that's not the truth. Now, y'all can believe me or Chat GPT. Nicole said Chat GPT be lying too. Yes, they absolutely do, because you see, they're programmed. Chat GPT is programmed. So whatever lies they want us to believe, they're going to feed those lies to Chat GPT. That's how that's going to go, honey. Okay, let me just type in what caused. Let's see if they say what caused the super tornado outbreak in 1974 if it wasn't hard. Well, let's see what they say it was, honey. Okay, here comes the bullshit. Here's what they say it was. They say the 1974 super outbreak of tornadoes was caused by a rare combination of atmospheric conditions, including a strong low pressure system, a powerful jet stream, and an exceptionally warm and moist air mass from the Gulf of Mexico, and significant wind shear, which created a highly unstable atmospheric conducive to the rapid formation of multiple powerful supercell thunderstorms and long track tornadoes. First of all, you know they're telling a damn lie because they use too many words. That's how you know they're lying, because they use too many words. Did y'all hear all that bullcrap they just threw us? This is nothing but gaslighting at its finest. Let me read this again. The 1974 super outbreak of tornadoes was caused by a rare combination of atmospheric conditions, including a strong low pressure system, a powerful jet stream, an exceptionally warm and moist air mass from the Gulf of Mexico, and significant wind shear, which created a highly unstable atmosphere conducive to the rapid formation of multiple powerful supercell thunderstorms and long track tornadoes. Child, they know we don't know what the hell that is. Okay, I want y'all to picture. They know that the average person don't know what in the hell that is. Okay, what they're talking about. So let me just break it down to you so I can just prove they're lying. So a deep low pressure system moved across the Midwest and into Ohio and Tennessee valleys, drawing in cold, dry air from the Northwest and warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, that is, which Trump calls the Gulf of America. Okay, the presence of a strong jet stream at upper levels provided the necessary dynamics and lift for the storm system to develop explosively. A large and deep moisture plume surged northward from the Gulf, creating a very unstable atmosphere with high amounts of available energy. Child, y'all are lying, okay? Y'all know y'all damn lying, okay? This was all caused, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm just gonna tell y'all something. How I know this is a lie, and I want y'all to pay attention, because when I found this information out, when I was doing the research about this, over a decade and a half ago, like I said, it could have been 2 decades ago. But with that being said, in the document that I was reading, okay, it specifically said that it was caused by HAARP. It specifically said that. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. See, that's what made me start investigating HAARP. That's what made me start more so investigating HAARP. Nicole said they say HAARP is conspiracy theories. Well, it isn't, because they just said that it was created in 1990, but that's a whole lie. It's been around a whole lot longer than 1990. Okay, it's been around, honey. Charlotte said Queen is our meteorologist. Okay, thank you, beloved. You know, meteorology, that's really an easy job to me, because what do? They go out there and, they tell us, like, think about it. They get on the news sometimes and they say, well, there's a 50-50 chance of rain. What does that mean? That it might rain and it might not? I'm just saying, at the end of the day, they need to sit down somewhere. Okay? Easy said Queen has multiple masters. This is true. Okay, this is true. And a PhD to go along. All right. So Mel said the getaway with the cover-ups. Exactly. Nicole said, I'm saying about the weather disasters being manipulated by it. Oh, yeah, of course. Absolutely. This is all absolute facts, I do believe. Okay, they have been manipulating the weather. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Hold on, I got to prove something to y'all. Hold on. Maybe they deleted this from the internet too. Hold on. Okay. Now it was something. It was something that they did in the 40s. It was something they did in the 40s. It was some kind of, was it an ice cloud or something? It was something they did, but it was weather manipulation. And they've been doing this for quite some time. Here's what they say. Listen to this. More lies. Humans have attempted weather manipulation for centuries, but systematic scientific weather modification began, okay, this is the truth, in the late 40s. See, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I have researched this years ago with the accidental discovery of cloud seeding. That's what it was. That's how they figured out about the cloud seeding. It was a man by the name of Vincent Schaefer in 1946. I remember studying this so long ago. Okay, so anyway, now, followed by early experiments by Nobel laureates Irving Langmuir in 1948, they had the experiments on the cloud seeding. Now, this era saw significant efforts to alter weather, including attempts to induce rain, modify hurricanes, and even weaponize weather during the Vietnam War. So if they were doing this back in the 40s, do you really think that these mother suckers with their lying selves just came out with HARP in 1990? And I'm here to tell you that it is a known fact. You can do the research yourself. Don't take my word for it. There was 149 damn tornadoes in one day in 1974, and that was by HARP. They can miss me with it. Cloud seeding and all of that, manipulating and modifying hurricanes. They can redirect hurricanes. That's what they did during Hurricane Katrina. And we already know that they blew up those levees so that it would flood the black populated areas more so they could come in and buy the land for cheap and then put the white folk there. We already know how it all went down. So this is why you should not ever trust this nefarious lying arse government. Okay, Trump lies all the time, but Trump's just an extension of them. He's only doing what they allow him to do. Okay. So like I told you all, they've been doing all this stuff. Okay, y'all not gonna sit up here and have me thinking, and when I say y'all, I'm talking about the government. Y'all not gonna sit up here and have me thinking that they first attempted to manipulate the weather in the 1940s, but it was 50 years later in 1990 when they came up with HARP. No, boo-boo. When I read that paper years ago about those tornadoes, it specifically said that was all due to HARP. Okay? And that's when I really started doing some serious research on HARP. So that's all I'm saying. Now, with that all being said, I'm about to get out of here. Nicole said, I believe you everything you're saying, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay, Easy said Trump is not the real power. He's just a fraud. Exactly, because we all know that the presidents are nothing more than just puppets. Okay, we've been knowing this. At the end of the day, I've been telling y'all this since forever. Okay, so like I said, and this is why I've been telling y'all for weeks now that the Democrats are quiet on purpose. They don't give a damn what he's doing. They'll sit there and act like they do, but they're nothing more than controlled opposition. I've told you all this for years. Laverne said, Queen, are you still teaching students? Yes, beloved, absolutely. Okay, so with that all being said, and my students are grown, okay, thank God for that, because some of these youngsters, honey, they get on your last nerve. But so with that all being said, okay, it is what it is. They manipulate the weather. This is what they do, allegedly. Let me just throw that out there, allegedly. But yeah, I absolutely believe it. Okay, songwriter Sonny says HARP by now would be the only thing capable of any knowledge of weather manipulation. Likely so. Easy says, so some of us have GEDs. Honey, ain't nothing wrong with a GED. There's nothing wrong with that. Here's the thing. Let me tell y'all something. See, let me tell y'all how the white people got y'all fooled. Okay, because here's the thing, and I need y'all to pay attention to this. Here's what I need y'all to pay attention to. See, this is what I learned from white folk. Because when you listen to smart white people, honey, you can learn some things. So let me tell you something. One thing that I learned from white people is this. You know, black folk tend to look down on people that have a GED. Like, oh, they dropped out of school, this, that, and the third. But, you know, Judge Greg Mathis has a GED. And he's highly educated, in my opinion. All right. So with that all being said, that is nothing disparaging. And here's the thing. In fact, a lot of times, or sometimes, white people take their kids out of school. They let them quit school at the age of 16 and send them to a GED program so they can get their GED and go straight to college while they're 16 and 17 years old. And that's how they get out so early. And then they can go into graduate school and get their life started quick. While some of y'all be sitting up here waiting till you go through high school. You might fail a grade. So now you're going to be 18 or 19 when you graduate. And then if you go to college, you know, it's going to take you some years. But this is what they do. Okay? This is what I never had thought of that. I wish I had. I never had thought of that. Okay? All right? You know, and my mom got a GED because my mom had me when she was 16. So my mom got a GED, went to Job Corps, got a GED, and then went to college a myriad of times. Okay, and has always worked in the medical field. So with that all being said, honey, it's nothing wrong. No shade to the GED section, like D.L. Hughley says. No shade. Because, and here's the thing. This is what you all also need to keep in mind. There are many intelligent people who didn't even graduate high school. Okay? Let me tell y'all something. You see, the reason I went to college and got my degrees is because, first of all, I wanted to teach people and I wanted to be a professor, and I knew I needed a degree to do that, but also because I wanted to have the accolades behind my name when I put in resumes and when I write books. So I have the credentials. I always thought I was smart as hell before I even went to college. Okay, I always knew I was smart. I don't think I needed to go to college, to be honest with you. I always been smart. Some people just are. But the bottom line is that's why everybody doesn't need to go to college. Some people are naturally smart. Okay? Some people are just born with intellect. So don't look down on people because they didn't graduate high school, honey. At the end of the day, Dr. Sabi, I think he said he dropped out in like, what, 3rd grade? Y'all know how smart Dr. Sabi was. So smart that the government had to have him taken out. Allegedly. Okay, allegedly. So, honey, yeah, you don't have to go to college to be smart. And here's another thing, too. Let me just tell you all this tidbit for FYI. When you think about the origin or the etymology of the word graduates or graduation, what does that even mean? That's gradual indoctrination. Okay? That's what that is. It's indoctrination. See, when they send you off to college, they're really indoctrinating you gradually. And see, this is all going to lead into, this is going to segue to, now as I'm thinking about it, until what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Okay? Because tomorrow, we're going to talk about these nefarious sororities and fraternities. Okay? That's what we're going to talk about. All right? And why you should never join them. And if you have, you should denounce them. Okay, we're going to get into it because a lot of that has to do with the gradual indoctrination that happens when you go to college. Now, though I went to college, they couldn't indoctrinate me. Okay, all of those sororities coming after me, trying to get me to pledge and all of that, honey, misses me with it. Okay, because I don't need to belong to a part of any group because I already know who I am and I already knew what that was about. But we're going to get into it tomorrow. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. DJ Big Six said, me, find me. Let me tell you something, beloved. It's funny you said that because my friend James R. Sanders, I don't know if he's still in here, but I was just literally telling him a couple of weeks ago that when I was in college, yeah, that's what I had on my t-shirt, me, find me. Okay, I don't need to join anybody. All right? I don't need to join anybody. That's what I don't need to do because I don't need to feel like I belong. Because, honey, wherever I walk in the room, that's where I belong. All right? And I don't need to try to fit in when I was born to stand out. And that's my philosophy all day, every day, and twice on Sundays, and always has been. Okay? So with that all being said, Reggie says, ooh, argue with my grown professors. You argue with your grown professors? Honey, I did too. I did too. Luna says, Queen, I will be there for all the smoke. Okay, because we're about to bring it. Okay, so with that all been said, listen, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this evening. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Laverne said, hope I don't miss the live tomorrow. Well, Laverne, I actually send you the email, beloved. I don't know if you check your emails, but you're one of the very people that I send the links to every day. I send you the links. Okay, so now with that all being said, somebody else had something they wanted me to speak about this week. It was something about Harp and Shern. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Jagad. I never know how to say your name. How you have it written? Is it Jag? J God the Rogue. I guess that's what it is. You did tell me one day. I think you told me one day, beloved, but I forgot. I'm sorry. But you said I got my GED. I took the GED and aced the college admissions test in the same day. Only student that got the Pythagorean theorem right. My OSHA industrial math teacher was a sister. Okay, now let me tell you something about that. There was I reported on this, 2 Black young ladies who solved, hold on. Yeah, here it is. There was 2 Black teenagers from New Orleans. I reported on this 3 years ago. Their names were Kelce Johnson and Nakia Jackson. They discovered new ways to prove the Pythagorean theorem using trigonometry. Okay, and I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was excellent. Okay, because I tried that when I was in high school, honey. I tried that when I was in high school because I took trigonometry and I could never figure it out. But they figured that ish out. Okay, and I don't think they get enough praise for that. Y'all remember I came on here and I was talking about that? That's right. Reggie said it was solved by 2 Black girls. Yes, they solved it using trigonometry. They sure did. And it was previously thought to be impossible by mathematicians, honey. Okay? Absolutely. They did that. Honey, I couldn't figure it out, though I tried. That's right. Devin said Black girl magic. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Oh, were they? Leon said they were on 60 Minutes last night. Okay, shout out to them. Yeah, because I absolutely told you all about that, and I showed the interview. All right, because I was proud, honey. I always am proud of Black excellence. Okay, so with that all been said, listen, I love you all to life. I'm out of here. Everyone enjoy the rest of this night. I will see you all in the morning, honey. We're going to go in on these sororities. Some of y'all might belong to them, the fraternities and sororities, and y'all might be mad. But, honey, please sit down somewhere because I'm coming to bring the receipts. Okay, that's what I'm going to bring. And here's the thing. If you don't think that I know your history, oh, I do. I know your founders. I know how you got originated. I know all your deities and all that. We're going to get into it. And I'm going to crack some faces and step on some toes. But at the end of the day, it's going to be well worth it. Okay? It's going to be well worth it because you're going to leave here knowing some things that you didn't previously know. I promise you that. Okay? So with that all being said, I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me?